Headlines of VTV News. Prime Minister Phie attends G20 summit in Rio de Janeiro. Vietnamese products flood Chinese border markets. And later on in our world news, UN Security Council holds meeting on 1,000 days of Russia-Ukraine conflict.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello and welcome to VTV News at 3 p.m. local time. I'm Lena Pham and here's the top news of the hour. According to the General Secretary, innovation and reorganization of the political system to be streamlined, strong, efficient, effective, and efficient is an urgent requirement of reality. This morning, November the 19th, at the Party Central Committee headquarters, General Secretary Tô Lâm, head of the steering committee, chaired the first meeting of the Central Steering Committee on summarizing the implementation of Resolution 18 on a number of issues on continuing to innovate and reorganize the apparatus of the political system to be streamlined and operate effectively and efficiently. According to him, the implementation of Resolution 18 in recent times has achieved initial results. However, the arrangement of the apparatus is not yet synchronous. The overall organization of the apparatus of the political system is still cumbersome with many levels, many focal points, functions and tasks are still overlapping, unclear, decentralization and delegation of power are not yet synchronous. Effectiveness and efficiency of operations are not high. He said that the task is extremely urgent and there is not much time left and requires very high political determination. Prime Minister Phie attended the second session of the G20 leaders meeting Reform of Global Governance Institutions in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil on November the 18th local time. This year's G20 summit attracted the largest number of participants to date. The summit opened with a launching ceremony and the announcement of founding countries for the Global Alliance to Fight Poverty, which includes Vietnam. During the discussion session on poverty alleviation, Prime Minister Phie emphasized that eradicating poverty is not only a noble humanitarian goal, but also a crucial foundation for ensuring global peace, security, and stability. After sharing Vietnam's achievements and lessons in poverty reduction, the Prime Minister proposed 3 strategic guarantees for global poverty eradication. First, ensuring peace, stability, and development cooperation as the prerequisite, with the G20 promoting its leading role. Second, establishing an efficient, stable, and climate-resilient global agro-food system as a long-term foundation. Third, investing in people, prioritizing education, training, and social security as key tasks for building a harmonious, inclusive, and sustainable society. Continuing the 39th session, the National Assembly Standing Committee gave opinions on explaining, accepting, and revising the draft law amending and supplementing a number of articles of 7 economic laws. The National Assembly Standing Committee proposed to supplement and amend the law on personal income tax and the law on handling of administrative violations, and agreed to submit to the National Assembly the draft law on implementing some of the articles of the law on securities, the law on accounting, the law on independent audit, the law on state budget, the law on management and use of public assets, the law on tax administration, the law on personal income tax, the law on national reserves, and the law on handling of administrative violations. It is agreed that the law will take effect from January the 1st, 2025, while the provisions on subjects participating in the purchase, transaction, and transfer of individual corporate bonds will apply from January 1st, 2026. By the end of next year, the Mekong Delta is expected to have nearly 600 kilometers of expressways. This region has received significant attention from the government for infrastructure development. The completion of these expressway projects will create new opportunities for localities to attract investments and boost socio-economic development.
The Mỹ Thuận Cần Thơ Expressway was put into operation in late 2023. The project reduces travel time from the center of the Mekong Delta to Ho Chi Minh City by over an hour.
Once the expressways are completed, transportation time will be reduced, so we are excited to invest in Long An.
Currently, the Mekong Delta has 120 kilometers of expressways in operation and 428 kilometers under construction, set to be completed by 2025. Projects to enhance connectivity are being accelerated.
The province has both proactively and through government petitions pushed for transport routes connecting to the Cho Doc, Canther, Soc Trunk Expressway. This holds great significance in linking the Mekong Delta with Cambodia.
There is high regional connectivity potential, such as the Ring Road 3, 4, and routes linking Mekong Delta localities. A clear guideline for cooperation has also been established to attract more investors.
4 years ago, many provinces in the Mekong Delta attracted little to no foreign direct investment. Today, numerous FDI projects are either implemented or underway. Notably, the region has achieved a record trade surplus exceeding $12 billion.
The Consumer Price Index, or CPI, in October rose by 0.33% compared to the previous month. This increase was mainly driven by a surge in food prices following natural disasters. However, the sudden rise was short-lived and price levels have since stabilized. Inflation is expected to remain well controlled through the end of the year.
This rice vendor at a wholesale market witnessed a brief spike in rice prices during October. This temporary increase was triggered by natural disasters in northern provinces.
I assured customers not to worry because the crop loss in northern provinces was minor, and supplies from southern provinces quickly compensated.
This woman has been running a budget rice stall for years. She visits the market frequently.
After natural disasters, prices went up slightly, but they've since returned to normal.
To ensure stable prices for both sellers and buyers, production and livestock facilities like this one must operate efficiently while cutting costs. At a pig farm of nearly 5,000 pigs, the monthly electricity bill costs $2,500.
By adjusting the hours of electricity usage to off-peak times, we've managed to save a significant amount of money.
The recent electricity price hike only adds about 0.04 percentage points to the CPI.
On average, Vietnam's CPI in the first 10 months increased by only 3.78% compared to the same period last year. Nevertheless, fuel prices continue to face pressure from global fluctuations. Alongside governmental regulatory measures, businesses and retailers have also optimized transportation costs.
We combine shipments to save costs and minimize unnecessary trips.
International organizations forecast Vietnam's inflation this year to stay below 4.5%. However, close monitoring remains essential to prevent inflationary pressure in the coming year.
Vietnam's annual fertilizer demand is approximately 11 million tons, with domestic production meeting about 70% of this requirement. Despite a robust consumer market, the industry faces numerous challenges, including the growing prevalence of counterfeit products. Additionally, domestic fertilizers are ineligible for input VAT deductions, resulting in higher selling prices. These factors compound the difficulties for the local fertilizer sector.
Despite investing almost $8 million in upgrading its production lines and offering both high-quality organic and inorganic products, this fertilizer factory is still struggling due to consumption challenges.
Our production costs are high, while imported fertilizers are sold at low prices. On top of that, the market is flooded with poor quality and counterfeit products, which makes competition extremely challenging.
About 7,000 types of fertilizers are available in Vietnam. The prevalence of counterfeit and substandard goods has caused annual losses of approximately $2.6 billion to the industry.
Market supervision occurs only after goods are in circulation. As a result, large volumes of counterfeit or poor quality fertilizers are often discovered after they have already been consumed.
While imported fertilizers qualify for input VAT deductions, domestic products do not receive the same benefit.
If input VAT deductions are not permitted, businesses are compelled to factor these costs into the final product price.
The preference among farmers for imported fertilizers poses a significant challenge, further undermining the competitiveness of the domestic fertilizer industry in its own market.
Trade between Vietnam and China is becoming smoother and faster thanks to both countries' strong efforts to promote commercial exchanges at their border gates. The border markets vividly reflect the thriving trade between Vietnam and China.
This is the central road that borders the Dong Sinh border gate in Quang Tri, China, and Mong Cái in Quảng Ninh, Vietnam. When visiting Dong Sinh City, specialty iced milk coffee is one of the most popular drinks. In addition to enjoying it on-site, tourists can also buy it as a gift. Coffee has become one of the key products through which Chinese people have come to know Vietnam.
I've grown accustomed to drinking Vietnamese coffee. Vietnam is really beautiful.
The Dong Sinh border market has become an attractive tourist destination in Quang Tri. It primarily sells food, beverages, and consumer goods from Vietnam. With the ease of trade across the border facilitated by local residents, Vietnamese products have become popular among people in the border region. Vietnamese goods have even spread further inland.
Most tourists come here buy Vietnamese goods, and then they ask for my WeChat ID. They message me later to place more orders.
In the first half of this year, trade between Quang Tri and Vietnam surged by 36% compared to the same period last year. Vietnamese products have become increasingly familiar to people in the border region. One key factor driving this trend is that Chinese tourists, after visiting Vietnam, often seek to rediscover the flavors they enjoyed during their travels.
And before we move to the next part of VTV News, let's take a look at the foreign exchange rate. Coming up next, one teenager drowns, 4 others remain missing in Red River. Creating livelihoods for the elderly in rural areas. A teenager has been found dead while 4 others remain missing after swimming in the Red River in Phu Thọ province. According to the Phu Thọ Provincial Police Department, 6 8th grade students, 5 8th grade students from Hien Quan Secondary School went to swim in the Red River on their way home from school at 4 p.m. on November the 18th. The 3 girls and 3 boys were caught in a whirlpool. 1 boy managed to swim back to shore, while the other 5 were swept away. Rescue forces arrived shortly after for a search operation and found the body of a girl at 7 p.m. that evening. According to the vice chairman of Tam Nông District People's Committee at a press conference held on the morning of November the 19th, despite rescue teams working through the night, no more bodies have been found. The search is still going on. In rural areas, stable job opportunities are scarce for young people and even more limited for the elderly. Most elderly residents rely on small-scale farming, cultivating rice and vegetable crops each year. As the population continues to age, it has become increasingly urgent to provide support that helps older individuals in rural areas secure jobs and generate income independently.
At over 70 years old, Mr. and Mrs. Todd stay active by helping with childcare and contributing to the family income.
I can earn about $5 a day, which helps cover some of my daily expenses.
The elderly can participate in activities like small-scale farming, animal husbandry, handicrafts, childcare, and home-based production. Some even start businesses that create jobs for others. For example, Lan from Ninh founded Đổi Mới Company Limited, starting with a such production complex. His business now employs hundreds of elderly workers.
Some elderly people lack pensions and are too old for farming, so engaging in craft production offers them a way to earn an income while also bringing them joy.
We are working on legal policies, including issues related to loans, training mechanisms for vocational education for the elderly, and especially the need for experts who research fields and industries that are suitable for elderly workers.
Over 7 million elderly people in the countryside are actively involved in production, with more than half aged 60 to 69 and 19% aged 70 to 79.
From a social perspective, we also need adjustments. There must be a shift in policy thinking and actions in the labor market to accommodate elderly workers. For example, certain jobs should be reserved for older individuals to ensure they have opportunities to contribute.
Many older individuals remain capable of working, but they need supportive policies. These should include vocational training, help transitioning to new jobs, and access to government loans for starting small businesses.
For years, the Southern Power Corporation has worked closely with local authorities to bring electricity to Khmer ethnic communities and other underserved areas in Sóc Trăng. This effort has extended the national power grid to remote regions, significantly boosting the socio-economic development of these ethnic communities.
Sothan's house in Vinh Tan Commune, Vinh Chau Town, Sóc Trăng, recently received its first electricity meter connected to the national grid. With the installation of the power grid, life for Mr. Sothan's family, along with dozens of other households, has become more stable.
When the electricity arrived, everyone was thrilled.
Vinh Chau Town consists of 2 hamlets located dozens of kilometers from the town center, with people scattered along the sea dike, making electricity access difficult and costly. However, with determination, by the end of 2023, the national power grid had successfully extended to every household in the area.
In remote areas, investment can range from $2,100 to $4,200 per household. Despite this, Sóc Trăng Power Company plans to prioritize electricity supply for households.
Thanks to the Sóc Trăng Power Company's support, ethnic areas now have access to the national electricity grid, significantly improving local living standards. This initiative strengthens social security and bolsters national defense in coastal regions.
Electricity plays a crucial role in supporting education, enhancing daily life, and maintaining social order.
Sóc Trăng Electricity Company has recently prioritized supplying power to areas with large ethnic populations.
The Dao people in Tong Sang Commune, Bát Sát District, Lào Cai Province are celebrating their unique New Rice Festival. This tradition has been an integral part of their lives for generations. Each family organizes and celebrates the New Rice Festival according to their own planting schedule. The festival provides an opportunity for relatives and neighbors to reunite, have fun, share experiences from the past year's work, and strengthen community bonds. In modern society, numerous factors have influenced the traditional cultural practices of the Chera ethnic group in Bà Rịa Vũng Tàu. Over time, the unique identity of the Chera people has gradually faded. To address this, a young man established the traditional club to promote Chera culture. His initiative aims to help local youth better understand their traditions and cultural heritage.
Every Monday, Wednesday and Friday afternoon, the traditional house of Tân Thuận Hamlet, Long Tân Commune, the Dot District, is filled with the sound of gongs and drums. This is a weekly activity organized by the Tân Thuận Hamlet Traditional Club, founded in 2015 by Lý Văn Khánh, a young man from the Chera ethnic group. The club serves as a platform for him to share the cultural heritage with the youth in the village.
At first, there were about 10 young people from the ethnic community who began practicing the dance and gongs. Now, we don't even need to go out and encourage them anymore. The people will bring their children down to learn and even ask to join. Not only have we been able to engage members of the Chera ethnic group, but also King people from the commune have joined in.
After nearly 10 years of operation, the Tân Thuận Hamlet Traditional Club now has about 20 regular members who participate in activities every week.
I feel very happy to be part of the club. I hope to spread the culture of my ethnic group to more people.
Khánh is a leader who has sparked a passion among the local youth, encouraging them to engage in the community activities. He has helped awaken the community spirit and preserve the cultural heritage of the Chera ethnic group.
The Tân Thuận Hamlet Traditional Club is more than just a place to learn singing, dancing, or playing gongs. It's a bridge connecting the young generation of the Chera ethnic group with their ancestral heritage.
Coming up next in our world news, UN Security Council holds meeting on 1,000 days of Russia-Ukraine conflict. And world's first green energy island in Belgium. The United Nations Security Council held a special meeting on Monday to mark the 1,000th day since the outbreak of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. A number of figures and strong statements were presented, all hoping for a comprehensive solution to the conflict. According to a UN report, the conflict has resulted in thousands of casualties, millions of people displaced, and significant damage to infrastructure. On behalf of the UN, the Deputy Secretary General warned of the escalating risks of the conflict, with nuclear power plants and other sensitive sites now becoming targets of attacks. The United Nations has pledged to do everything possible to bring the conflict to an end. The Korean Central News Agency, or KCNA, reported that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un met with Russian Minister of Natural Resources Alexander Kozlov in Pyongyang on Monday. Kozlov is leading a Russian delegation to attend the 11th meeting of the Intergovernmental Committee on Trade, Economic, Scientific, and Technological Cooperation. Kim highlighted the growing strategic partnership between North Korea and Russia, describing their ties as having reached a new strategic height. He called for further strengthening cooperation between the two countries in various areas to promote prosperity and development through broader intergovernmental exchanges. The European Union and the UK imposed new sanctions on Iran over allegations that Tehran supplied drones and ballistic missiles to Russia for use in Ukraine, as well as to Iranian proxy forces in the Middle East. The EU targeted the Islamic Republic of Iran shipping lines and its director, Mohammad Reza Modar's Khiabani, while the UK sanctioned the same shipping company and Iran's national airline. Iran Air, in response, Iran's Foreign Minister Sayed Abbas Araghchi denied the accusations, stating that no Iranian missiles were sent to Russia and that the shipping company only handles the import of essential goods to Iran. Belgium has begun construction on an artificial island 45 kilometers up its northern coast. The island is not only environmentally friendly, but also a key project aimed at reducing Belgium's dependence on fossil fuels. It will also help Europe transition to green energy and meet renewable energy goals.
At a shipyard in the North Sea, workers are producing dozens of massive, hollow concrete blocks, each the size of an apartment building. These concrete blocks will be towed out and sunk to the seabed to serve as the foundation for the world's first wind-powered artificial island. The island, named after Princess Elizabeth, will feature transformers and underground cable systems to transmit electricity to the mainland.
This is a combination of an artificial island with electrical infrastructure on it. We aim to make it the world's first green energy hub.
Once operational, Princess Elizabeth Island will generate offshore wind power of up to 3.5 gigawatts, enough to supply electricity to 3 million households. In addition to producing renewable energy, the island is designed to serve as an energy trading hub for the entire European continent. The management's plan includes specialized hybrid transmission lines that will connect the island with neighboring countries, enabling two-way energy flow.
The island will also be used to connect to the UK, to Denmark, to Norway, to bring huge amounts of renewable energy to Belgium. And in total, the project will provide for 30% of the electricity that we need by 2030 and 2035.
The project has gained support from environmental groups due to its green objectives and nature-friendly design. The island will feature ledges for seabirds to nest and artificial coral reefs to promote marine life. This new island is expected to play a significant role in helping Belgium achieve its carbon neutrality goal by 2050.
And now let's take a look at the weather forecast. And that's it for this edition of VTV News. Thank you very much for watching. To rewatch our program, you can download VTVgo from App Store or Google Play, or tune in our YouTube channel at youtube.com/VTV4go. Goodbye for now.